Domestication. We're all just domesticated one way or another. The whole world is full of that now. But the thing is that you allow yourself to be that. I'm not a racist of any kind, but we know we're domesticated under the white people. You can tell by what we do, what we live for, how we treat each other just to get recognition from the white person, a treat. It's a sad world right now. Uh, they tell you in school, they told you in school what they did, what they're here for. And we sit here, we simply go with it. We allow it to continue. Um, I, I, I don't know what the solution would be. The solution would be to get your own land and make your own. It shouldn't be this hard. You shouldn't have to be told it's a privilege to have to go get money in the system, to drive to get money in the system because everything is so far. They made it this way. You shouldn't be told that it's a privilege to go to the grocery store, drive to the grocery store because there's roads and buildings everywhere, so now you can't grow any vegetation or food to sustain yourself. Sooner or later, they're going to say it's a privilege to breathe air. You know, you're a part of this world just like anything. You know, it's not a privilege for a bird to fly in the air. It's a privilege for you to. You know, I've never flown on a plane. I understand. That is something that people have built and made a business off of. Uh, but as far as if you buy a plane, then you should be able to fly in the air. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, under no circumstances. I understand some people may be scared. Oh, is he a terrorist or whatever the case may be? But if you bought something, you're able to use it. I don't understand how it's a privilege to do anything because you've had to go through their system in order to get it. So if you make this life, then this is life. You know what I'm saying? Then therefore nothing's a privilege. You just did it. You know, you done the right things to get what you needed to do. There's no privilege in just being a human being. You're a human being just like an animal is an animal or a plant is a plant. You're alive and can't nobody privilege you, is what I'm saying. You only can privilege yourself. And I'm not saying privilege yourself in, you can't privilege yourself by making someone else less. That's not what I'm saying. If that's not a privilege, by making someone else life harder, whether that's taking from them or manipulating them, and you're gaining from that. That's not a privilege. You're actually being a defilement to life, if anything. Privilege is you understanding who you are, being happy with who you are, and knowing what you can do to make yourself wealthy. Um, that's it. That's your privilege. You make privileges in yourself and in your life. And can't nobody give you a privilege. You got a car. You doing stuff for yourself. Did nobody buy you a car? You bought it on your own with your own money. That's not a privilege. You understand? You did that because this system said this is what you have to do in order. You have to get these green things, these green pieces of paper, in order to get this. You understand? Um, you actually have a disadvantage having to live life like that. Um, there are people still in this world that are able to walk up to a tree and get food. I don't think it's a privilege. You constantly using someone else's inventions isn't a privilege to you, so to speak. It's a privilege to the people who's making the inventions, making money off you, because they were able to sway you into thinking that you needed their product, and really you don't. Whether it's TV or anything, but in this society, you will need some type of transportation. You can't use horses nowadays. Most places you can't use a horse. You can't do the things that you want to do. If you wanted to use a horse, it would be horrible conditions you would have to put that horse through around these cars, traffic areas, things of that nature. It's not a privilege to drive. It's a misfortune, because I have to do this. You know, I have to I have to go get a car in order to feed myself. Therefore, I have to go work for somebody in order to sustain some type of money, no matter what it is. No matter if it's a sport, no matter if it's a job, whatever, your own business, you have to literally do this no matter how you feel in order to sustain yourself, because you don't have the privilege of food being around. You don't have the privilege of food being accessible to your family, uh, cattle, anything. You don't even, most people don't even have this knowledge because they're so busy trying to get the green pieces of paper. And it's a disadvantage to you as a person, because you're going to be stressed out because you don't have anything that is going to continuously come back forever. Your job, it doesn't matter what you do. Business can go out. People get laid off. You get in trouble, whatever the case may be, you know, and that you can't sustain anything like that, you know. And then me personally, I don't watch TV. I don't need TV. When I work outside all day. I enjoy fishing. I enjoy doing outdoors things, you know. Um, you know, seriously, everything that you have is simply because I've been in sales. I've been in sales. I know the game. It's simply because someone has persuaded you to think you needed it, and that's it. Everything you have it because someone persuaded you to think you needed this thing. You don't. You have a lot of stuff in your house that you don't even use, collecting dust, and you thought you needed it so bad. But that's just something to think about.